Give a big round of the hand. Give a big round. Give a big round. Give a big round. Give a big round. Give a big round of the hand. Give a big round. Give a big round. Big round. Give a big round. Give a big.
We could have homes on separate coasts, go dive in Greece with squids. Could have been so bleeping rich, but instead we had kids. They won't smile for a photo, they won't eat the food we choose. That's why we're heading to the parents' lounge to drown ourselves in booze. Every day we're more exhausted, we haven't slept in years. They hit me in the nuts so bad, my eyes filled up with tears. And yes, we'd like to fake our death and go off of the grids, but the truth is we are softies and we truly love our kids. So join us every Tuesday night to laugh at all our pain. Evening in the parents' lounge is the cure to staying sane. Hey, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Parents' Lounge. We have a fantastic... Hello. Jason Gowan, Jamie Kaler. We are joined tonight by our first guests. We have two wonderful guests tonight. One of my oldest friends. We played a ton of shows together. One of my favorite comics. He was the head monologue writer for Conan O'Brien for 18 years and just worked on the last season of Ellen, one of our favorite comics on earth, and a wonderful dad. Mr. Brian Kiley is here tonight.
Hey, nice to see you guys.
Welcome back, my friend.
Yes.
Yeah, it's all coming together, my brother. Yeah. How are you lately? It's a hot summer. There's ants on my desk. I don't know where they came from, except that I have kids and there's heat. So my guess is there's food somewhere here that I don't know anything about.
Yes.
There's a crepe with a little bit of Nutella stuffed away somewhere.
We have been doing crepes galore. And yeah, it's been, I'm surprised we haven't been just taken over like a movie from the 1950s with radioactive ants.
Yes. My daughter's room, somehow there would be food that she would sneak in. Did you also, I used to have this problem too, where you would find like a sippy cup underneath your car seat that had been there for like 3 weeks. You're like, what is that smell? And then you find this thing under there that you don't know how long it's been there. And it's got, milk that's now yogurt in there. It's
always the greatest when that happens. Jason, you tell the story. That must happen to you all the time.
It is a daily occurrence here where we play the game of What's That Smell? And we just try to search out what thing has been wedged in a horrible place that, and how old is it? We have had milk bottles that came back that you would have swore were some sort of cement inside. They had been there.
It's crazy. Yeah. My kids have done that all the time, and it's been horrifying. And they've been driving me crazy they're like at 10 now. Like, Brian, what's the age where they finally start to this is crazy because you're going to say never, but pick up after themselves?
Oh, I think it's the early 40s.
And they, by the way, I think they're still living in your house at that point, aren't they?
Yes, I think that's what I hear. So my kids haven't reached that age yet, but I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, exactly. Jason, what your kids are not taking care of your stuff at all, I don't think, are they?
No, it's actually way easier for me if I just do everything myself, because otherwise I add, number one, an infinite amount of larger chance that I will be having a stroke from the stress of raising them. And it just takes forever and they whine. The heat is also making them very whiny right now.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, the heat is getting crazy. Nobody else has the ant. I'm like covered in ants. Have you guys? It's crazy.
I mean, it's not a current problem, but I mean, it's early in the show.
I get, I'm not a... One time, this is crazy. This is a crazy story. I was at a play. some weird black box play in Hollywood, and I sit down and we're waiting for everybody, and we're waiting for the play to start, and there forever with somebody, and finally they go, all right, we're just about to start, and the lights just start to dim, and as the lights dim, I look down, and there is a whole line of ants coming up the chair, and they're already on my shirt, and
Oh
there's
my
a line of
God.
ants that's like right to here, and then it went dark, and the play started, and I was like, what? And so I was like the first 4 minutes of the play, and I was like the person next to me was like, I'm covered in fucking ants. There's ants all over me. This is insane. And then I had to, my friend was in the play, and later he was like, dude, you left in like 3 minutes in. And I go, I was covered in ants. And he was like, sure you were.
There was a famous play in the 50s called Picnic.
Yes.
I wonder if that was like some of the special effects or something.
That would have been really. I was watching Picnic or Oklahoma or I don't know, probably
Or
Sweeney Todd would have some. There'd be some maggots and ants. I would imagine.
Barefoot in the Park.
Oh, Barefoot in the Park. How to date ourselves quickly.
That's true. Sorry.
I did a reading the other day. This guy he had written something, and he said, "Hey, will you do a reading or something?" There was a reference in it to My Fair Lady. And that, y'all stick around after the reading. And then that was the first question. Somebody goes, I'm not sure, but is My Fair Lady a bit of a dated reference? And everyone's like, I guess it is. And it's kind of reached that point where you're like even like big famous things that I talk about, people go, that was 50 years ago. And you're like, oh, I guess that was.
Yeah, I know you're.
50 years ago.
But some things are iconic, though, don't you think?
Yes.
I had a weird thing happen. I was in Houston doing a gig, so I had the Lyft driver give me a ride from the airport. He was from Morocco, and he was about 35. And I was like, where are you from Morocco? He was from Casablanca. Never heard of the movie. And I'm like, you're from Casablanca. Not. And then I had another Uber driver. He was from Oz. Not familiar with the movie.
Crazy. Saw that one coming. I like that one. That's a good one.
Okay, thank you.
I was going to say I would talk to this guy in French Guiana, and he'd never heard of Papillon, but I went really obscure.
I like that.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's funny.
But the Casablanca thing was a true thing, and I was like, how could you have never heard of that when you're from there?
Do you think in other countries they have movies about Manchester, New Hampshire, and then they would see me and they'd be like, "But you're from Manchester? How come you never heard of this movie?" I go, I don't know what you're talking about.
That Casey Affleck movie, whatever, you probably haven't heard of it, and they probably love it, right? Isn't that?
Oh, Manchester by the Sea.
Oh, that's right. Wrong Manchester. I'm sorry.
I hated that movie with such a passion. I had just had young kids. I forget who wrote it, but if I ever meet that guy, I may. Do you know the storyline? Do you know the story? Horribly tragic.
Yes.
Yes, he's drunk. He lights a fire. The kids doesn't work. Goes south very quickly. And I'm like, why am I watching this? This is the worst thing that's ever happened.
Oh, yeah. There are things like that. I'm with you. Yeah.
It's like The Lovely Bones. Now I'm angry that they even made that movie or wrote that book. It's the girl gets something horrible happens, and then her spirit kind of guides everyone to find the culprit.
So was that Kevin Bacon?
No, it was Stanley Tucci was the bad. Mark Wahlberg's the dad, and Stanley Tucci plays the psycho. And by the way, he came out recently and said, "I regret playing that part." It was really, It was a part that I did not sleep well during that time period or something. It is weird. I do this in my act about how TV has changed so dramatically for me personally since I had kids. And the joke I do is that before kids, Jaws was my favorite movie. It was three heroic men going out to stop a shark. And now all it is, it's a story of a single mom who watches her son get eaten alive on the beach. Like I can't get past.
Sure.
So anytime you kill a kid in a movie, I'm out. I can't watch it.
Yes. Yeah, I'm with you. But I also have that thing of because you end up watching their videos over and over and over with them. Do you know especially when they're really little?
I am in that phase now.
And I just remember saying things to my wife like, okay, why would Tigger think the present was for him when he was at Pooh's house? It was clearly, like I start analyzing these where it's like, wait a minute, I have found a flaw in the film that there's a logic problem I'm having here.
I love that you're not even upset that Pooh's not wearing pants. He's got like a red vest and pants.
He usually does it in his own house. So.
Yeah. And it's, I'm just assuming it's 100 degrees, and that didn't bother me. But Tigger coming to his house and finding a present and thinking it's for him, that's where they lost me.
It's so funny. We should do a whole show on like the logic flaws in movies when you're like, all right, back up. You're telling me, wait, what happened? I do that with the kids all the time in these movies. And she's like, well, he has this power. And I felt like in the back of my head, I'm like, the screenwriter got stuck at a point. He's like, I don't know how to get out of this. Well, just make your character have a special power where they can just make food appear. Boom.
Right.
And then
I remember reading the book, Steinbeck's The Pearl, with my daughter when she was 12 or 13.
You're going in the Steinbeck category. Jeez.
And at the end, he's like, wait a minute. She's like, wait a minute. She hears a voice in the dark on the mountain, and they shoot and hit the guy in the head. No, like she had a problem with it. I was fine with the story, but she couldn't get over it.
Well, as a writer, because I will tell you, it feels like, nowadays it's how fast can we get this content out? And people are like, well, maybe we should do a rewrite. No, we are shooting tomorrow. Really? We only have 12 pages of script. It's going to be fine. I feel like speed is of the essence now, more so than like a crafted.
Yes. And that's not, no, the story has to work. I remember when my son was 5, we're reading Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. So spoiler alert, he gets the golden ticket. And my son goes, yes. And I wanted to go, look, he has to get the golden ticket, because otherwise, what are we doing here? Do you know what I mean? Like, what, if he never gets the golden ticket, this is the worst book we've ever read. It's the worst book in the history of literature. He's got to get the thing. So I don't know how you didn't know. It says the title is Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. So how did you not see that coming?
Well, it could arguably Charlie and his dream of never going to the chocolate factory.
Yeah.
It'd be funny if at the end he goes, I didn't get one. And they go, yeah, they're all taken. And they go back to bed with Grandpa and Grandma and the other 4 people who need a bowl of gruel. And he's like, wow, that didn't go well. And then he goes and buys a gun. And then he just goes to the chocolate factory and takes it of his own accord. I feel like that's how the story would be written nowadays.
We should write like a John Wick goes to the chocolate factory. Something like,
Charlie would sue. It would be Charlie sues the chocolate factory. And then there would be something of how the golden tickets were given out. There was like, it wasn't just random.
Right.
It was like, it goes to quiz show mode where all of a sudden we go, the whole system's rigged. Yes. Charlie sues the chocolate factory and gets the whole thing.
And maybe the dog eats one of the tickets and chokes and dies, and then that sets him off.
Either way, he's going to end up owning the chocolate factory at the end, either version. So,
do you feel like that's when I was a kid? For someone to go when somebody was getting sued, you'd be like, how does that even work? What's happening? Somebody went to court and filed papers to sue somebody, and now you talk to the gardener. And he's like, no, I'm suing like 12 people. Like everyone is in multiple lawsuits at any given moment.
I've been in 3 new ones since the show started.
I do know.
I had to sue you though, Jason. You have it coming. I just filed papers against Jason, like literally during the show.
Wouldn't that be so stressful though, having all these lawsuits and whatever?
Yeah, I do feel like that's kind of what they're doing to Trump a little bit about like going, look, we don't know if any of this is ever going to pay off, but we're going to make you fly to New York and go to court occasionally.
Well, if my kids sued to be emancipated, I would have just said, okay, you win. I wouldn't want that hassle of going to court,
I'm thinking about having my kids emancipate themselves right before college. And that way they have zero income
Yes.
as they apply for financial aid.
I know of kids who've done that.
Well, or have like, I'll go to a homeless guy under a bridge and I go, "Can you adopt my kid?" And he's like, "What?" And I go, "Don't worry, she's 18. She's going to, well, you're not going to see her. You're never going to be in the same room with her, but you're going to be her father. And I'm going to need your tax statements, by the way."
Well, my kids are still hoping to get the golden ticket.
Oh, Kylie and the Chocolate Factory. Which, by the way, the Chocolate Factory has totally gone out of business. There's no way that Chocolate Factory is still
There's
going.
no way it survived COVID.
Well, the
Right.
other kids got hurt. Those kids' parents definitely sued.
Well, the other thing is that there's no way that the Oompa Loompas got the vaccine. Do you know what I mean? I'm sure COVID probably ran through that factory and ravaged them. Don't you think?
Killed them all.
Yeah.
They're
And
like
they
the
were
Hawaiians.
an at-risk group to start with.
Absolutely, they really were.
They were the Hawaiians before Cook showed up, right? Isn't that what Cook was like? "Hey, I brought you treasures and diseases, my friend. I know you haven't touched another population since time began, but welcome to civilization and sleep tight." Yeah, that's so crazy, dude. Yeah, it's crazy, man. I was going to tell you about my kids today. Oh, so this is what happened. Oh, so here's what happened. So my daughter, as a man, do your kids ever wear glasses, Brian, when they were young?
No, they didn't. No, they didn't until late teens, I'd say.
Wow, well, it's still young. Still young.
Yeah.
But still at least adult enough to go like, "Look, you need to see. Put these on your face." How did you know that they needed them? Did they say something, or were you like, "Why are you reading this poorly?"
I don't think my daughter did until her 20s or so, but I think, when my son was playing baseball, I think he had trouble seeing like the catcher's signals or that kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know?
That was famously documented with a couple of pros. They weren't hitting the strike zone, and then they went and got, "Oh, actually, wait, it's Major League, and it's Charlie Sheen." That's right. They put the goggles on him, and he starts pitching like a madman. So my daughter got glasses last year. She needed them.
And what age?
4th grade. She got them in the summer before 4th grade, and so we bought her a bunch of different pairs. Wouldn't wear them. No, I'd rather be blind. Like literally said, "I'd rather be blind. I'm not wearing these things and stuff." And so we got contacts, but we weren't putting them in. My wife wouldn't put them in. She was like, "She's not ready." I go, "She's ready. Put them in. Put them in." It was like a year of fighting, and she wouldn't wear the glasses, and the teacher kept making her try to put them on, and so she had good grades, but her reading test score, they do the STAR testing, wasn't that high. And I talked to her after, and she goes, "Oh yeah, I didn't wear my glasses that day." I go, "You might want to pop those on for a STAR test." I don't know how, I don't know where your brain's at, but so this summer was the summer of contacts. I said, "We're doing contacts," and so I've made a concerted effort. And all of a sudden, here's what happened. She's like fighting, kicking, screaming, wouldn't open her eyes, like crying. You couldn't get them in. It was nuts. And so we had to bribe her to get her a present. We said, "We'll get you presents." It was like an M&M when they went potty. And so that was the only thing that got her to put them in. And of course, within 2 weeks, she's like, "Oh my God, that's what the world looks like. It's so clear. I can't believe it. Why wasn't I doing this forever?" And I go, "I know, right? I begged you. I told you it's going to be amazing." And then she was like, "So what am I getting for the present?" And so not only did we buy 6 different pairs of glasses, dealt with a migraine headache of a year of trying to get her to wear the glasses, but when we finally get contacts on her, then she actually demands the present, where I was like, "Wow.
Yeah.
So we're giving you a present to help you be able to see." Is that just so we're clear? So we can help you get through life. Now we have to give you a present to guide you through that.
Now, is this the first time you've been in that place where you had to give a present to help the child?
No, it's everything.
Where did the precedent start? How did that start for you?
It starts with potty. It starts with a treat for potty.
Yes, we're there now.
I mean, it starts earlier than that. I think you give a Cheerio when they, I don't know, do something or other. But let's welcome our final guest for this evening and one of our other favorite comics. And we've done so many shows together that I can't wait to just sit back and let you guys tear it up. We love her. She's one of our favorite comics. Kira Soltanovich is here. Hi, buddy.
Kira.
Hey, kiddo. Sorry I'm late, but I figure it's like Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, right? Like, who's gonna swing by? Ding dong, it's the mailman.
It's kind of like
Sorry,
it's
I'm
got a
late.
little. Speaking of Paul Rubens, a little Pee Wee's Playhouse. It was, a fond farewell to him yesterday, the day before.
Yesterday, yeah.
I was a huge Pee Wee fan, and I always love that premise of a show where people just kind of go, "Hey, look who's here!" I love that.
Who stopped by? Why, it's Brian Kiley, writer, the Ellen DeGeneres Show. I didn't know we were doing credits, Brian.
That's my version.
I didn't know that's what we were doing.
Those are my pronouns.
Oh,
You describe yourself as an Ellen? That makes sense, honestly, Brian. That fire.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm trying to butch it up.
I get it. I hear you. Kira,
kiddos.
I was just regaling people with the tale of the fact that we finally got Hannah to wear contact lenses, and we had to like bribe her with presents. And then by the end, I was like, "Wait, we're giving you a present so you can see clearly. Is that what's happening?" And she's like, "That's
Wait a second. Why does she need to wear contacts?
Because she likes her eyes to look like vampires. No, she's blind. She's got 20/40 vision. She needs glasses."
But I'm saying, why not glasses?
Oh, we tried glasses. She could wear glasses. She won't.
Okay. So
So
that's on her now.
it's on her. But we bought her 5 different pairs of glasses. By the way, we've talked about this before too. That first pair of glasses you get at the optometrist, don't do that.
Oh, geez, no.
When you're like, did I just spend $600 on a pair of glasses for a 8-year-old who's going to lose that in 4 days?
I lost the left side, left little earpiece when I was 12. And my parents were like, "We're not buying you anything."
Is that right? Were you that kid who was like, the glasses were like this?
Yeah. And I had to just sit with like a finger right here to hold them up. And that was it. And then I took them off, and then I walked the hallways blind. And then in class, I had to put them on.
You must have looked very pensive at your desk like this.
Well, because it was not just like, it was broken. Like, you couldn't get a tool, the little mini screwdrivers, which are so cute. You couldn't just do that. You didn't.
So you had glasses as a kid?
I did. I had glasses starting in the 7th grade.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
I got everything. I got boobs. I got hips. I got glasses.
Same.
All the stuff.
Can I tell you, there are kids, going into 5th grade, and there's already kids who are starting their journey, I should say.
The boys have boobs.
The boys have boobs. But the boys want, I feel like the boys want boobs. Apparently even in 4th grade, there was a girl who had a boyfriend, and she was already,
No,
beginning
thank
the
you.
process of life.
My kids are so not there yet.
My kid's not either.
No,
Thank God.
absolutely
Thank
not.
God. Right?
No, my 12-year-old son still likes to skip.
I mean, that might be something else altogether.
Well, that could be for sure. But he's not there either way. Whatever he's into, he's not ready.
I mean, I'm deep in my 50s, and I enjoy a good skip. I'm not.
I have seen you skip and frolic both.
Oh, I love it.
You did seem really
On a
happy.
weekend
doing
night,
both.
I used to frolic around Hollywood a lot. I went to the frolic room right next to the Pantages.
Oh, Lord. Well, I've seen some very, very developed girls, and I don't know. I think it's, what are we feeding these kids?
It's the hormones in the milk.
That's right.
That's right. I think that is right.
No, 100%. I mean, everyone's like, well, yeah, they can start developing at 9. No. I mean, sure, they can. Yes, can it happen? But come on.
It is crazy to think by like back in the olden days. I say that like the old guy. I'm not talking about the 70s or 80s. I'm talking about like the 1700s and like when they were like married off at 11.
Yeah.
And now my daughter's 10, and I'm like, wow.
Wouldn't you love to get rid of her?
Depends on the dowry. I mean, how many mules am I getting?
I mean, what if it was just a series regular?
Oh, I'd take that in a heartbeat. She's gone.
Right? I mean,
that door.
You know how difficult it is to get a series regular, but another kid, you could probably still make one.
I could actually. I think
you could.
I'm pretty sure.
And your wife is young.
She is. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm trying a bit right now. I don't know if it's going to go over. I think most of, progressive Hollywood will hate me for it, but I wish somebody would say, hey, if you just gave me this hand job, I will buy your script. Done. I wish someone would tell me that.
Yeah.
I would do it. It's easy for 85 seconds, and then I can sell my show.
I would do it.
Me too. Me.
I, honestly, same.
Kira,
Right?
I give you.
I think you're using "me too" incorrectly there.
No, that is the exact way I'm using it. Me too, please.
Well, we know the pendulum always swings. So how far back is it going to swing the other way when it swings, by the way?
Well, it will 100%, but it's swung for me because the real hashtag Me Too movement is for young women who are, you know, so precious with their bodies. I've had 2 kids. I'm middle-aged. Somebody please ask me to do something. I will do it. I will do. What do you need? You want to piss in this plant in front of me? By all means, I'll piss in it with you. Gladly. If it means that I can have a part in a film, done. Oh my God.
It doesn't even matter how many days you're working or what size of the part. You don't care.
I don't care. I don't care.
It doesn't matter.
I don't care. Some pervert is like, hey, if you give me a 100%.
I mean, they've got to still be out there. They're just underground a bit.
They're underground. And what I'm telling them is, if you have work, not during the strike, we can't work right now, but I'm just saying, when this is all over,
Oh, yeah, you're definitely.
I'm your girl.
Yeah, you are.
I'm your girl.
You could maybe bank a couple of them for when the strike's over.
That's true, but you know, you got to trust the pervert then.
It does feel like
trustworthy.
I mean, it is weird because, you know, when I was a kid, you could go into Spencer Gifts and there was a book rack and it had every book of like Polish jokes, Irish jokes, Russian jokes. And it was just a book full of jokes about that ethnicity. And you'd be like, who do I want to laugh at today?
Yeah.
Oh, Spanish people. Let's España. And now if you even like, we were just talking before you came on about how litigious our society is. I mean, if you even said something about like, oh my God, should she be wearing that? I can't believe you body shamed me. It's like, dude, nobody can laugh at themselves. I think that's what's really the worst thing that's happened is nobody has any like, yeah, man, I'm an idiot. I've done stupid. Like nobody can laugh at themselves anymore. Everything's so like, you're hurting my feelings and my body image.
Yeah. Feelings trump everything nowadays.
Lizzo just got busted. Lizzo got busted for fat shaming the people on her show. And I'm like, well, you can't. If
wait a second.
Calling the kettle, literally, the pot and the kettle are calling each other fat, aren't?
But I can do a good Jew joke. Do you see what I'm saying? So can she do it because she's in the community?
So
I would have given her a pass from at least my end.
The people on her show said, and by the way, I love Lizzo. She seems cool as blank, but she apparently the people on her, I love it. You signed up to be a guest on like a person on a reality show, like a Survivor type of I'm a fat dancer show. And then you're like, hey man, why are you making me feel bad? You're like, dude, you signed up for a reality show. You're supposed to feel horrible about yourself.
I want to see this in like the Comedy Central roasts where they start it and then they have to stop and go, hey, you hurt my feelings with that insult that you did.
When Jeff Ross says, I wouldn't blank that woman with B. Arthur's dick. You're like, hey man, really not cool.
You can't body shame B. Arthur for having a small dick.
She might have. We don't know. She might, but
she didn't have hormones in the food like we do now.
Yes. Come on.
There's just no. I don't know. It's yeah. We talk about it. It's like it's so crazy, and especially raising like my kids. The other day my daughter was she was losing her mind. I farted in the car. I'm not gonna lie to you. I ripped one in the car, and my daughter Hannah goes.
Your bits on the show.
My daughter Hannah goes, Daddy, I can't believe that. And I go, oh no, it wasn't me. That was Claire. I go, Claire ripped it in the back seat. And Claire didn't go along with the joke whatsoever. Claire was so destroyed by this. She was like, I did not. And she starts like sobbing. And so the more she sobbed, the more I tormented her, which is, I'm a terrible father. I kept going like, Oh, that shows us that you did do it. You obviously, everyone knew I had farted. But
Well, you know the saying, "He who cries dealt it."
Brian. And so she wouldn't. It was unrelenting. Her just tears and screaming. I didn't. I swear to you. And finally, I'm like, Claire, we all know you didn't fart. We all know it. We all know Daddy farted. And then like 30 seconds went by, and I go, but let's be honest, you farted. And she melted down again.
Oh
I keep trying to teach them the lesson of like, if somebody's teasing you or tormenting you, you have to ignore them or go along with it.
Or jump in.
Yeah. You should have said, "Oh, I ripped a big one, Dad, and it's for you. I hope it ends up in your mouth." Like, so I'm either the worst father on earth or I'm the most genius father on it. I don't know.
You can be both at the same time.
Right.
I don't know. Brian, how is your son doing? He's off. Is he still playing baseball?
No,
his son is a pretty amazing baseball player.
He retired. So they wanted him to come back this year, but he did not. So he finished his first year of law school, and they wanted him to come back, but he couldn't train, so it was too much. But it was such a fun ride.
He says the Kaler car roast, and then Trevor Patton says, "Hope you tasted it."
Oh my God!
And we have a new viewer, Sandra Walker Kincaid is here. Welcome to the show.
Sandra, welcome.
I hope you're getting
I have a question for Kylie.
Yes.
Can you sit further from your camera?
Here's the thing. It's called the aging process. I like to be as far as possible.
You're outside. Yeah, see, look,
good.
Kaler gets nice and cozy. There you go.
My wife saw a post I put up the other day, Brian, and it literally was up for maybe 4 seconds, and some ridiculous monologue of me saying garbage about my children. And she goes, I got a text that says, "I have notes." And I thought she was going to say, "Hey, you can't say that about the kids, or you can't do this." And then when I talked to her, she goes, "You're too close to camera. They can see your face." And she goes, "You need to back up a little bit." And I go, what?
Those are legit notes.
I mean, I feel like it's constructive in a lot of ways.
It was like Tootsie. It was like, how far back can you go? I was like, hey man, I'm a human. I can feel you talking about my wrinkles. What are you talking about?
Heidi, welcome. Heidi's apparently been here once before and decided to give it another try.
Loving it. Kira, how are you doing? Are you on the road these days? What's happening?
Well, I was supposed to be shooting in June and July, so I didn't book any road gigs.
Was this the Jay Leno thing?
This was season 3 of You Bet Your Life. But they saw the writing on the wall, of course, and so we had to stop down. Also because of WGA. But
there wasn't any writing on the wall.
There was no.
It was just a sign that says, "Sorry, there's no writing on this wall."
We can't even write the sign. Yeah, and so I didn't book any road work because if you want to work in June and July, you got to book your road work in February.
Right.
So I've been around. But you know what? It was nice because then I was here for the kids for their very, very, very expensive camp that I prepaid for in January because I thought I'd be shooting, and I thought, let me get that early bird special. And they had been in camp for 8 weeks.
Oh, and this is overnight camp?
No, day camp, but that's $6,000.
Yep.
And I'm not working. So it's been fun. It's been a great summer. I would not have put them in camp if I was not working.
You couldn't pull them out? Hey, Tommy Rouse. Oh, Tommy. God, I keep getting it. Tommy, you're coming back on this show soon, brother. Question for Brian. You still playing tag?
So he is referencing, so Ellen would have us play tag in the studio after rehearsal.
And really quick, for those who don't know, Tommy Riles is the Life of Dad. That's his. He's an online influencer, but he also was the warm-up comic for Ellen DeGeneres' show for many years.
For many years. So, Tommy and I have played tag together. So Ellen would have us play tag, and then she would talk about it on the show every day.
That's super funny.
It feels like she just wants everyone to be running around blindfolded, trying to not get wet or soaked in jello. Like I feel like that was her the last few years, right? Like every segment was try to avoid this jello. Wasn't that like her thing? Did you write that bit? Is that your
I did.
genius?
I'm I everything I pitched was Jello related.
Yeah, that's a pretty good. That's different. It's definitely different.
I mean, Jello is inherently funny. I think we can all agree on that.
But I mean, like she'd have people like fall through the floor. Oh my God, it got aggressive.
Got aggressive. But then
Well-
I think COVID messed everything up a little bit there.
Wait. Now,
COVID was fine.
Hold
What?
on. I feel like COVID helped everything. Wait, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I had a terrific
Everything
COVID.
took off for me when COVID was happening. I was.
You know, it's always great to have a 2-year pandemic and come out of it and then go, you know what? We should go on strike.
That's when we should have struck during the pandemic. Dang it.
That would have been
Why
fun.
didn't we do that?
If we could have picketed and also socially distanced at the same time, we would have had like 30-mile picket lines. It would have been fantastic.
Covered some turf.
Yes. Where are you picketing? Burbank. Why are you in Culver City? It's a long picket line. Yeah, that's.
Camp, Kira, did you think about, you can cancel. We canceled the camp like the week before.
This camp is terrible. I tried to cancel this camp 2 summers ago, and I had to get a lawyer involved. True story.
That sounds like a German camp. I'm sure it's a German camp.
No.
That can't be- Hey, listen, I'd love to cancel camp. Sorry, brother, you got to get on the train.
You're on the train.
Listen,
Yeah.
my summer changed.
Get on the train. Yeah, we couldn't. It would have been a headache.
Still too soon, guys. Still too soon, really. Summer camp train.
So I have a friend, a good friend that lives in Germany. Okay, she married a German guy. He is a sweetheart. This guy is absolute sweetheart. They have kids. He's really, really great. But for some reason, every time they come out and come to the States to visit, I say something inadvertently, and I don't know how. Subconsciously, I must have this reason where I just have to get it. I don't know what it is, but my friend was asking about my mom, and we started talking about my mom's history and how my mom is a Holocaust survivor. But what am I going to not say the truth?
Right,
I mean,
right.
she is, but I'm watching this very sweet man. Like he just starts slumping over more and more, like in his chair next to me. I mean, it's not his fault, but
Yeah.
how awful.
Yes.
Even though he wasn't
Right.
born yet. Just and every single time I somehow bring up World War II or Jews or I gotta just stop talking.
Kira.
Yes.
That's her
One of my
go-to.
favorites. One of my
So
favorite stories.
Sandra Walker talks about Girl Scout camp, which my daughter, God, she wants to go so badly to. It's an overnight camp as well, and it is a lot cheaper. Let me ask you this about camp. We sent my kids to as we play with the signals. We sent my kids to camps all summer, and it got to the point where my kids would come home and they were like rating the camps.
Yeah.
Like I go, how's camp? This one's really kind of mediocre. I was like, wow, how bougie. What a bougie
Mine
camp.
too.
Hey, Succession kids. Really? You're in camp. And they were
Just
like,
go run. Just go play. Just go run.
This one was kind of boring. We did like a ping pong tournament, then we played kickball. And I was like, dude, spoiled.
Yeah.
Spoiled. It's pretty bad.
Yeah. Wait, Brian, what were you going to try to say? But you're so far from your camera, and we didn't know you were talking.
You are far away, Brian. I think you need to lean in a little bit.
Is that you, Jamie?
Yes.
No, I was just I was more going off the German thing than the camp thing, but I can roll with it, whatever you want.
No, tell me what the German thing was. I want to hear from
so
the
my
white
dad was
Korean.
in World War II. My
Oh,
dad
here we
was in the Battle of the Bulge and so on. And then towards the end of his life, this neighbor moves in who's like a 40-year-old guy from Germany. And he says to my dad, have you ever been to Europe? And my dad said, uh-huh. And he said, "Have you been to Germany?" And my dad said, "Yep." And he said, "Where did you go in Germany?" And he said, "Well, we got as far as the Elbe River."
Oh my God.
That was it.
Oh my God. Did the guy figure it out?
He did, and there were no more questions.
How was the weather? It was cold. It was very cold.
Yeah, very cold.
Cold in the forest. How were the accommodations? Trench was not great. My father fought in World War II. Well, barely. Like, he got injured in World War II, but he rolled a Jeep in Hawaii. That's absolutely true. He rolled a
Oh my
Jeep and blew
God.
his shoulder out in Hawaii drunk, I think. And years later, they'd be like, your dad got injured in World War II. And finally, it came out he had rolled a Jeep drunk. But for my whole life, our last name's Kaler. And all he would say is, "We're Irish. We're straight Irish, pure Irish, pure Irish, pure Irish." And it wasn't until I got older and somebody reached out and were like, "Hey, where in Germany you're from?" I go, "I'm not German. What are you talking about?" And this dude was like, "Well, your last name's Kaler." And I said, "Yeah, I'm Irish." And he goes, "Well, Kaler it's from Kohler. It was the coal man in Germany." And yes, of course, my brother took our history back to the 1600s. It's insane what he did. He has them getting on the river, the Elbe River, going up, leaving Germany to get to like Nova Scotia and stuff. But my father never once said we were German because he fought in World War II, and he was like,
Right.
he goes, "We are not German. You couldn't be German then. You like
Yes,
Germans
yes, yes.
got." Yeah,
Oh
Yes.
my God.
Here's a little trivia for you. French toast used to be German toast.
Shut up.
Come
Swear to
on.
God. Swear to
Come
God.
on.
And in World War I, they go, "We're not having German toast. We serve French toast."
What?
Yes, it's been French toast ever since.
Okay, I got one for you.
Yeah.
In France, you know how they have bistros?
Mhm.
Mhm.
They actually got that from Russian soldiers who wanted to get something quickly to eat. And so they would ask, "Do you have anything, bystra, which in Russian means like something quick, 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 quick." And so they would set up these little quick cafes for Russian soldiers, or for any soldiers really, so that they could feed you quickly. So they called
Wow.
it bistro, and that's how they sold their German toast in the bistros.
Wow. I love that. That's
I love that.
Fun. Yeah, and then Kaler's dad rolls a Jeep. So on brand.
So
So on brand.
it's so on brand.
You look like a party, like the 80s. The 80s guy at the party that wants to steal the girl, and that was your dad. Like, that's you guys. That's your whole family.
It just falls into place. The whole thing's magic.
I'm trying to figure out my lighting. Sorry, guys.
No, your lighting's actually it's kind of good. And by the way, that picture in our opening banner, oh my gosh, right? I mean,
What
can
picture?
we all agree? Look at Kira in this.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
Leather jacket, not as hot as Kylie holding that
Kylie. I mean, look at him.
microphone.
That's such a 1980s Boston comic photo.
It's such a Boston comic photo.
That photo doesn't even look familiar to me, so I don't even know where that came from.
Is that a collar on your shirt?
It's AI.
Kylie?
That was an
or
AI
do you
photo.
just pay quarterly
The AI
taxes?
does all the work for me now, so I don't even. They just pick the pictures for me.
We typed AI Brian Kiley telling an off-color joke in Boston. That's all. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. All right, what else are we gonna tell you guys? He's an empty nester. I have ants. Jason, you dude. By the way, everyone, I don't know if you guys know this. Jason has his children. Do you want to tell a story about your kids?
You got custody of your children?
No, I never lost them, no matter how hard I tried. So I have twin 4-year-olds who are nonverbal. And so we have been working with a team at the Geisinger Medical Facility to determine what caused it. And they had told us a long time ago that they probably would never speak. And my youngest of the twins yesterday told me he loved me. And so like we were told that was never going to be a thing. And then yesterday he said, I love you. And so I was like emotional and like overcome with joy. And it was a very magical moment because number one, he said it, but also like we were told that we were never going to get those moments.
So these were his first words?
Well, so they can say so they're 4.5, they're heading for 5, and they can say about 20 words. A lot of them are pretty broken. They speak in they sound like minions from Despicable Me when they talk, like it's a lot of gibberish. So
And Spanish?
And yeah.
Same thing, Kira.
The minions speak a little bit of Espanol.
And as do my kids. Yeah, so there's a language barrier. What's that?
What an amazing thing.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Thank you. It was a very, like I said, we never thought we were going to get that. And so yesterday.
Have you been working with like a speech therapist or someone?
We are, but they just, they sort of, their focus is like so what they believe is going on is that there is a missing chromosome. And so the muscle movements for their lips are not defined in the way that they should be currently. And so some of the shapes of the mouth and lips to make certain sounds, they are not able to do. So it's not that they are being worked with, but a lot of the things like the letter F, like anything, like there are just certain sounds they do not process on how to do it. And
gotta be honest, if there's any sounds you don't want to hear from your kids, I think the F is a
yeah, the F is a good one to omit.
If I could blank out the F out of my kids as they reach their teens, I feel like I would do that.
But
Your
wait,
kids
what
would be
4-year-old?
Yes, your kids would be saying, Dad arted.
Yeah, Dad arted again.
I guess that's going to come back to
I didn't art, Daddy. I didn't art.
Claire arted. Claire's the arter.
I don't know a lot of 4-year-olds that can pronounce F's, and I mean, it's so.
Can they understand everything?
They understand everything you're saying to them. They can't say it back to you.
So how do you communicate?
So they will. There's a lot of pointing, and then like there's pieces of words like cookie is just cook. Because the second part of it they just have not figured out. Like milk and whatnot, they just drag you to the fridge and they'll open the door and point to whatever it is, and we try to get them to say milk. They won't. There just is a lot of. But you can tell that they understand everything that's happening. They understand everything that you're saying to them, and they do follow directions like go get your shoes. Put your jacket on, those kinds of things. They understand all of that stuff, and they will do
those things.
Yes,
you tell them to do something, and they do it.
And they do it.
I'm so confused. But can everyone back up?
Interesting.
That threw the three of us here. What is that called? What they have?
Mind control.
No. What is the nonverbal thing they have?
Have they given it a name?
Well, not yet. They had an ECG, and there is a white noise underneath like the regular brain function that they think is also causing an issue here. So they don't know the extent to it. We have to go for an MRI in the next so in the next month we go for MRIs for them. We also started genetic testing because they do think that there is a missing chromosome. So we're still kind of trying to piece this puzzle all together.
Wow, that's intense.
It is.
It is intense.
It's a roller coaster ride for sure, and like we get little wins like we did yesterday, and then there are days
when been great.
It was
sitting there sobbing.
Oh my God, for sure.
I did, and I just I went out on my porch and I just was like because I never thought I was going to get to hear that from them. And the one still hasn't said anything even close to being similar. The one twin, the younger of the two, is he's a little farther ahead than the older of the two. And he is, but they're sweet kids from time to time. but they just.
Or Jason, is it just that the other one does not love you?
Oh my God.
Actually,
Brian, you too much?
You are the worst. Oh,
no, he's. I mean,
God.
there's.
Listen, I
Can we
mean,
go
there's
back to the
always options. You don't have to go with
Guys.
one answer. There's always different ways to interpret things.
This is too heavy. Let's get back to the Germans in World War II.
Yeah.
Yeah. Funny
Right.
stuff.
Let me tell you, I'll tell you this. This is a crazy story. So my daughter, I picked they're at a little day camp today. It only goes till noon. And so we're after camp. I pick her up and she goes, one of her best friends is there. She goes, can Charlie come home? Can Charlie come home with us? Please, can Charlie come home? Please, can Charlie come home? Can Charlie come home? I go, yeah. Yeah, Charlie can come home. Charlie comes home. So I talk to their parents and I go, Charlie's going to come home for a couple hours. And they go, yeah, it's fine, whatever. Bring Charlie home in the car. They go, can we go out? Can we go to McDonald's, please? Please, can we get a McDonald's? Maybe like 100 times. I go, fine. Yes, I'll take you to McDonald's. By the way, McDonald's is a train wreck because I go in, there's nobody working there. There's a kiosk. I don't know about you guys. I want to talk to a human. I don't want to bag my own groceries, man. I don't want to self-checkout a whole fucking carriage. I don't want to do so. I'm already the kiosk messes up my orders. I think the kiosk had a problem with me. I don't know what the kiosk is problem.
Did you sue the kiosk?
I'm suing them as we speak. Yeah. Definitely suing McDonald's and everybody. So I bring Charlie home after. I go out of my way, like really, like I have other stuff I'm supposed to do, and I go whatever. And so when I get home, it's a train wreck. So my youngest daughter and my oldest daughter are fighting over attention of the friend. They're like, you know how when you like three's not a magical number.
Three's the worst. Yep.
Three's the worst. It's the worst age and it's the worst number. It does not work.
Yes.
To be inclusive of others. And so her friend, who's really a sweet little girl, is trying to be inclusive of the younger one, saying, hey, why don't we play with Claire? And my older daughter, Hannah, is like, no, Claire cannot be part of this. And it gets really ugly. Like it's a horrible, like embarrassing fight of like, wow, what are you doing? Horrible fight. And so she gets punished. She gets sent to a room. I have to bring her friend home embarrassingly to her house and go like, it just was a nightmare. And then Hannah wrote 3 apology letters on index cards to
who were the apologies to?
One's to the friend.
Okay, dear Charlie.
One's to her sister, dear Claire.
Aww.
That's the one I want to read.
And then one's to dear dad and mom.
Oh, wow.
Oh my gosh.
He turns 10 this week. Yeah. And so and each one is, I mean, it's just, I am so sorry for the way I treated you just because I did not want to play with Claire. I regret not playing with you and hopefully you can forgive me and that we can see each other soon.
Oh my gosh.
Dear Claire,
Wow.
I'm so sorry for not playing with Charlie because of you. It is so much better when we all play together. Charlie deserves you as a friend more than me.
Oh my God.
I love you and hopefully you can forgive me. It's my
Wow.
And then the last one, dear dad and mom, I am really regretting my actions. You guys have done everything for me, and this was how I respond to you. I am so sorry. I am hoping you could forgive me. I'm crying.
I am impressed. Did she chat GPT these apology letters? They are really well written.
I hope she runs for Congress or something. She should go into politics.
I mean, you're going to save those, right? I save all of my kids' apology letters.
I have a giant box.
I
and
have a huge box.
If my kids ever apologize, I'm going to save their letter.
You have good kids. We've talked about it. I've complained about my kids to Kiley, and I'm like, you can relate, right? And he goes, I think one time my kid took an extra ice cube from the
Brian's
ice
kids
tray.
Brian, I
He
can't
has like such good kids.
But are his kids that good, or does he just keep his cards close to the vest?
Well,
You know, here's
Brian's
the thing.
half a robot. So
when I'm at work, I don't know what's happening at home, and I don't want to know. So
And you stay at work 22 hours a day is what you're telling us.
I do. When I come home from my gig, the house is quiet. I get home, it's around 11. I've done a Jason Love gig and
Jason.
By the way, I have 2 of them coming up. I love Jason Love.
Oh, it's the irony that his name is Love. That's what's so great.
Listen, man, take him or leave him. They're great gigs. I love them.
I know. I'm with you. We've done them all together.
No, we have.
I'm seriously looking for an apology letter right now. I know I have some on this dirty desk.
Right.
Of
Have
mine.
your kids never done anything where you're like, wow, I'm so shocked They didn't say they were sleeping at a friend's and go stay at a guy's.
Yeah, that's
No,
what I'm saying.
Didn't they come home drunk one night?
They certainly did things. One time I go to pick up my daughter at her friend's house. It's like 10:30, and she's like 15 or something. And like 20 kids come out of the house. And then she comes out and gets in the car. And I go, how was the party? Oh, it wasn't a party. I go, Allie, I just saw 20 kids. It was just a kickback. I'm like, what is a kickback? It's like you just have a few people and you kick back. It's like, well, there are small parties and there are big parties, but isn't that like, was I supposed to say, how was the kickback? Like, what? No, my kids would fake being sick. One of them would fake being sick and come home from school, and the other one would get wind of it. And the next day, the other one would fake being sick. And they were both out of school like 15 days. One day, we're in our little town. We see this middle-aged woman. She's like, hi, Sean. Hi, Allie. I'm like, who's that? And they're like, that's the school nurse. I'm like, of course you're on a first-name basis.
Oh my God.
No,
Yeah, that's nothing. That's nothing, Brian. Those are all just cute little anecdotes.
I know, but they're older now, so there's like the bad stuff fades in your memory, as
Well, Jamie, I told you about this, that I went to pick up my kid from summer recreation, and the camp counselor took me aside and said, hey, are you okay? And I said, yes. Why? Well, your son told us that you're sick and dying, and he was taking a collection for the family, and he collected actual money for my death.
True.
And I can't. I think my wife and he have an insurance policy that's about to go into effect for me. Something's up because my wife didn't seem
tell the whole story,
surprised.
dude. He tell what he did, and he took money from other people saying,
yes, he did. He took money. He got $5, which I felt was low because of my contributions here to this community. But
wow. Oh my God.
What did you say when you said, hey, did you tell everyone I was dying?
Oh, he lawyered me and he said, we're all dying, Dad.
Oh my God.
I mean, where's the lie?
Not wrong, and I can't argue with it. So we had to turn it into a lesson about taking advantage of people rather than, because his reasoning was pretty sound.
Wow.
Did your kids hit a thing where they suddenly realized their mortality and become obsessed with death?
Very young. I mean,
yes, very young.
Even with Frozen, when it opens with the two parents dying in the
shipwreck,
right? In the shipwreck. And the kids were like, what happened? I was like, oh. And then Grant, we had a death in the family, someone who was younger, 50s grandmother. And we had to sit down on the front steps and have a chat. And it was the hardest. It might've been the hardest chat I've ever had with anybody.
What was their reaction? What did they
melted down, just absolute tears. And yeah,
more than the fart incident.
What is it?
More than the fart incident?
It was worse than the fart incident.
Wow, that's bad.
By the way, Brian, thank you for being me in that sentence by bringing everyone back to reality to go, I love it. You got to laugh because I'm the same sometimes. You got to laugh at it. But yeah, it was like anytime it's like life is more painful through your children than it ever was through your own body. Like to deal with your kids' pain is like, bone crushing. We had to tell the kids like so and so is not coming back, and horrible.
Oh my gosh,
it's crazy stuff.
Yeah, I remember my daughter would be like 5, and you'd put her to bed, and then she'd start crying. I don't want to die. I don't want you to die. And
what kind of bed were you putting her into?
And I would be like, look,
bed of nails.
I'm looking forward to it. Let's get this.
You're looking forward to it.
Which turns out not to be the right thing to say. So,
no. Trust me, that nap's going to feel really good. Don't worry about it.
But yes, she was obsessed as a 5-year-old. I was like, okay.
Well,
weird thing.
Last year, when my daughter turned 7, she just turned 8 a couple days ago. Also, Claire, we're sitting in her bed. I don't know if I told you guys this story already. We're sitting in her bed, and it was a big birthday party, and we had all the stuff and the friends and the presents, right? And everything and the cakes. And so we're like snuggling in bed. And I said, did you have the best day today? Did you have such a good time? And she's like, I had such a great time, Mommy. Thank you so much. And we're going over the day's events, and, we're all snuggled, and it's very sweet. And it's like, well, I love you. Let's get to bed. Sweet dreams. I love you too. And we have like one last little squeeze. And then she goes, wouldn't it be hilarious if a missile hit the house right now?
Oh my God.
What?
I was like, why would you say that? Well, because we're like, I love you. And then,
Well, her comedic sense is fantastic.
Yeah, I was gonna
she
say,
has a very dark sense of
but
humor.
that is great timing.
Can
She's
you
got
tell
great-
them the story about when the past lives thing?
Oh, well, here we are back to, yes. We're again, World War II. I asked my kids, they were 5 and 9, maybe 6 and 10. Anyways, what do you guys think you were? Who do you think you were in a past life? And I knew my son right away, the older kid. He's like, I was a World War II soldier. Like, he said it right away.
Yeah.
And then the 6-year-old says, I was a pickle who lived in a hat. It shows their personalities
Sure. I love that.
perfectly. Like,
Yeah.
he's like, World War II soldier. And she's like, I'm a pickle. Ta-da! Like, she's
Awesome.
just,
That's so funny.
I mean, as far as
Okay.
pickle housing go, hat's not bad.
a hat is
Yeah.
not bad. Can I just show you when I go on the road for, 2-3 nights, whatever. I try not to go too long on the road.
But not this summer. Not till the
Not
fall.
this summer. Okay, wait. How can I show it? This is a comeback folder
Mhm.
to Mom. So when I return from the road, she has these folders for me
Mhm.
to remind me of her family. Let's see what's in the comeback folder.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I'm so
I
excited.
am curious.
welcome back home. Okay. So she put in a strip of pictures and she goes, this is me, you, and Braden. So it's like, I've been gone for 3 days, but she's like, let me remind you of your family. Right. So
You
that's
probably
us.
forgot their names.
Are
Yeah.
you getting amnesia on these
Casey,
trips?
photos, family photos. And then she goes, flip, flap.
Oh, that's amazing.
And then love Claire. Can you see it? Sorry, there it
Yes.
goes. Love Claire. To Mom, love Claire. And then what else is in the comeback folder? I think just stamps. Good job. Good work. Good job. Good work.
Narcolepsy says pickle genealogy.
Is that in there?
It used to be pronounced Peichel, which was German for coal.
Coal. It's a Coleman.
Yeah, so this is from, I don't know, this is just insanity. Mommy and Claire book. She reminds me of our relationship. Oh, sorry guys, you can't see it. Mommy and Claire
yeah.
book. So
Yeah.
she'll like remind me of our relationship. Like, I'm your daughter. It's almost like this passive aggressive, like, oh, hey, you went on a nice little trip. Well, let me remind you your responsibilities at home.
I came out of your body, just so you remember.
It's very sweet. Anyways, I won't bore you with the rest.
No, I
Not at
love
all.
No, there's a lot of nudity. There's a lot of nudity in here.
Well, then we
Oh my
definitely
God.
want to see it.
right.
It's the stuff like that that makes me laugh so hard. It's like, to me, that's the great. That's the
Yeah.
greatest stuff. Like my
No,
kids,
I love
I really pick meticulously, and I go, no, I'm saving this. I'm saving this.
Oh no, save them all.
Oh,
I
yeah.
can't save them all. You can't.
Come
save
on, you can do it. I got a big, huge bin.
Big one
I
right
just
here.
Throw it in the bin.
Jamie with artwork it almost goes to like an art critic level with them, and he does critique the performance on all of it.
Absolutely. Because listen, you're not going to do 3 squiggles and go, how is this? It's shit. What you've made is shit. But let me ask you, did you put the effort in? And they go,
Oh
no, I didn't
my
really
God.
put the effort in. Well, that's why it's shit. If you put effort in, you would have done, I always tell them, I say, listen, you're a good artist, but you got to put the work in.
Dude, that's hardcore.
I mean, there's a lesson in there somewhere.
Listen, Kira, I'm
a douchebag lesson.
Kira, if I'm a Broadway show, I've got like one song left. People are starting to like think about where they park their car. Like the show's almost over. I don't have time for BS with these maniacs. Jamie's got notes. My wife's got notes, and we're all standing too close to the camera. That's
Except
what
for
Brian, who is just Brian.
Actually, she just texted me. She's like, Brian, I love Brian's performance tonight. He's really funny.
I'm the only one that listens to her notes.
Brian is the equivalent of 3 squiggles on a piece of paper. Let's just be honest.
Yeah. When my kids were 5, they would make fun of my artwork. Like I'd try to draw along with them, and they'd be like, "Look at this asshole."
That's even funnier. You go like, Dad, come on, you're better than this. You're better. Do better.
I wasn't though.
So I will do that with sports, because sports, you either made the basket or made the goal or did the shot. You know what I mean? You can't be like, "Oh my God, amazing," right? You can say, "Hey, good effort." But if my son lost, they were in the championships for basketball. That's great. You got to the championships, and then they lost. And I go, "What's that?"
He's a loser.
I said, and they did lose. They lost. I go, "But do you think the other team was great?" He goes, "Yeah, they were really good." I go, "Yeah. So you're going to lose to a really good team. Did you bring it like they did?" You know what I mean? Like, that's just, you can't, like, an artwork, you're like, "Oh, pretty. Is it a tree? A tree. It's you, Mommy. Oh, okay." But like scores, points, you know what I mean? Like there's no sugarcoating it.
I appreciate the end result, but I'm the opposite with sports. With sports, I'm always like, "Hey, did you do your best?" That's all you can do.
Yes.
But with art, here's what I do. I go, "Did you put in the effort?" Because sometimes they'll draw a picture, the composition's off. There's giant white. There's the top half of the piece of paper there's nothing there. There's no composition. There's no structure. I can't have it.
Him art shaming her.
I know.
I art shame that. No, but listen, if you draw something in 30 seconds, I go, well, I guess, I don't know. Sometimes they would come to me like looking for approval, and I'd be like, you can do better. You can do better.
Maybe that white space is the infinite void she feels inside from this.
If it works, sometimes the white space works. Didn't work for me. I'm going to tell you, as I was watching, it didn't work. Didn't work for me.
I'm like that with their joke construction. Like if I'm not buying the premise, I'm just not on board.
I got to break out. Claire wrote a joke book. I have it in the box of things I kept. I'll have to break out Claire. Claire, God, it must have been 2 years ago. She wrote a joke book, and she wrote jokes like I'll bring it next show.
Okay.
And the jokes are like so like. Wait, what?
Anything I can use? Because I'm writing a new hour.
I'm already, trust me, it's opening 5 of my next hour. I'm already locked.
Oh man, I could really use some new.
I know a writer. His name's Brian Kiley. He's out of work. He's totally down to write some.
I've read his stuff.
All right, listen. We have kept you guys way long. I love having. We've done so many shows together. Kira, I would say, what are you up to this summer? But I think you're home watching children.
Well, summer's over. My kids go back to school in a week.
We're a couple weeks away. Yeah,
a week for my older one. Yeah,
Terrible.
It's awful. They get gypped out of summer. I mean, but we get like an extra week of Christmas.
When it's gypped out of 8 weeks of camp. They had 8 weeks of camp.
But we had 3 months of summer when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we had nothing to do. We sat in our backyard, and my mother locked the door and wouldn't let me in the house.
Typical Germans.
Well, das National, ich bin alles Grünen für Jamie. And then I was like, Mom, what? And she's like,
But Mom, we're Irish. What's with the German accent?
Why are you making that French toast? No, but I just, it's fast. It's fast. It's a fast summer.
Yeah.
But I'm going back. I'm on the road. I'll be in Alameda second weekend of August, whatever that is. 11th, 12th.
Please go check out Kira Sultanovich. Check out her handles on Instagram and your other followings and such. And definitely go see her live. And you guys are doing shows without me. And I don't think it's cool, man. I thought we were a team and I thought some stuff was going on, but then it all fell apart.
You're busy podcasting.
Yeah. I'm really busy on Tuesday nights. It's very, very Brian, what are you up to these days? And you're out picketing and
I'm picketing. I picketed today. I am at the Improv on August 30th with Wendy Liebman, so that should be fun.
oh,
Fun.
if you don't know Wendy Liebman, she's such a great comedian. Oh my gosh, she's so fantastic. That'd be a great show. All right, hey, we're gonna let you two get out of here so we don't.
Jason, nice talking to you, buddy.
Good to see you guys. Thanks so much.
Brian,
Bye, guys.
Thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. We love you. See you soon.
See ya.
Wow.
God, they make me laugh so hard. I don't know about you, but my parental mental health is way. I was having a horrible day. I told
Yes,
you. Earlier.
I talked to you. You were in fact having a horrible
Not just
day.
the kids, but with the parents' lounge, we're starting to really kind of get some traction and
Well, it's growing a little faster than we were kind of prepared for. So
yeah, so we have some social media. Actually, the social media people from Tacoma FD, which is on Thursday nights on True TV. My favorite show with the Broken Lizard guys, Kevin Heffernan and Steve Lemmy, Gabe Hogan, Marcus Henderson, and Hassie Hasserson. It's an awesome show. Anyway, thank you guys so much for tuning in tonight. We had a bunch of new people. Heidi, oh my gosh, Becky's here writing it's so much fun. Narcolepsy, you crushed it tonight.
yeah, Joey
Andrew
Steeler,
Walker
Brandon.
Kincaid, welcome to the show. Who else? Brandon saw Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles today, and he recommended it highly. So I
good.
honestly, I saw the trailer the other day. It looks fantastic. Brent Toki was here. Joey Steelers, loved you. Ben Duff, he's our third wheel.
Yeah.
Ben Duff's our new third wheel, and we love him. So thanks for popping in to everybody tonight. Listen, we really appreciate it, and the numbers are showing it. So do us a favor, share this, subscribe if you're on YouTube, follow us on Facebook. The show, we have some crazy guests coming.
Yes, we do.
Next
Next Thursday night, everyone live right here. Andrea Barber, Kimmy Gibbler from Full House. We're going to be doing a special Thursday live show. She's going to be promoting her new podcast, and she's coming in to talk with everybody, and you'll be able to all the comments and questions. She's going to be taking them live. So
yeah, taking them live. So definitely catch that one live as opposed to on iTunes. But if you're on iTunes, subscribe and follow. Also, next week, Sandy Danto, a comedian, is here. Reed Scott, my pal from My Boys and Veep, and now the marvelous Mrs. Maisel is doing a very special show, a Thursday night show on the 17th. Jason Gardner's here on the 15th. Pat McGann, a fantastic comic, is here on the 29th. So please come back and visit us here at the Parents Lounge. Listen, this show is all about us all taking a breather and saying, okay, look, we have kids, we're losing our minds, but let's take a break and remember that we're all in this together and laugh at some of the darker moments that we all experience on a daily basis. Jason?
Yeah. Also, if you want to come out and see us live together, October 6th and 7th in Sayre, Pennsylvania, me, Jamie, Justin Ruppel, who you know from How to Train Your Dragons and America's Got Talent, are going to be live in Sayre, Pennsylvania for our live stand-up show, and you can get tickets starting August 15th.
All right, that is it. Thank you guys so much for tuning in tonight. Hang in there. Sandra said, it's actually, Sandra, the perfect closing line to every parent out there who's, in today's world, it's so crazy. I'm sitting here trying to get my kids set up on an iPad with like parental controls, and it's been just mind-boggling. She's right. Hang in there. It gets better as they age, and that's it, man. So to all the parents out there, thank you guys for tuning in, for being part of it, and we'll see you next week here in the Parents Lounge.